Hey friends, welcome back to Mustard Seed Homesteading. If you're new to my channel, my name is Megan and I'm very glad that you came by. What we're going to do, as I do every week on this channel, is walk around the entire garden. I do have a few updates that I want to share with you all, some ideas that I've been thinking about, and of course some food to harvest. So let's get started. Now, real quick, before we go back there, last week I had shown you all of those shallots that were in that big silver bowl. Well, I chopped the tops off so you can see them a little bit more visibly, and I wanted to quickly show you all of the shallots. Now, as I said previously, I do plan to chop all of these and freeze them, but you can see some are now shallots I know are supposed to be kind of small anyway, so we do have some mediocre size, some small ones. We do have some pretty good size ones right here, and then of course, you know, there's a lot of like little tiny ones that like I said, I plan to just chop up and freeze. But I wanted to show you all of the shallots that I did grow so far. There's a few more up there that I am experimenting to keep in there for over summertime, so I can try to pick them fresh to have for fresh eating. We'll see how that goes. But overall, for my first time growing shallots, I'm really happy with this, and I just wanted to show these to you with all of the tops cut off. Plus, what I'm super excited about that I wanted to share is the garlic. So I had 4 green stalks of garlic that I harvested, a whole entire one of these metal beds in the back. I did a couple buckets, which I'm not really happy with the garlic in the buckets. Maybe I need to try them one more time, but I probably won't. And then I'm trying to think, oh, and I had a bed down here, one of my wood beds that literally looks like it's gonna fall apart on me, of garlic. And this year, you guys, I harvested, peeled, and just down to the clove, a little over 4 pounds of garlic. And I wanted to share that with you all because for me, that's a big deal. My goal is to grow as much of my own food at home as possible. And onions, shallots, garlic, and potatoes are some of my top ones to grow, and tomatoes, cucumbers, and peppers during their season time. But those are a big deal to me, and I wanted to share that with you all. So now let's go take a look in the garden. Now, for those that have been watching my videos, these are, I want to give you updates on the dwarf apple trees. Not much other than just some beautiful green growth. But they're doing good so far, and I'm just going to keep a very close eye on them. Now, I know it takes a little while for apples to produce, and I'm sure apple trees, whether dwarf or in the ground, large trees still have to get acclimated into their new home, but I just want to show an update on them in case you are following these. Before we go all the way to the back, let's do a quick check on all the bags. Now, everything does look wilty. I know last week it looked like that too, but we are actually going to water this evening as soon as I'm done filming because a lot of these need water. This one looks pretty okay, but this is also a much larger bag than this one because grow bags do dry out quicker, especially because this area gets a lot of sun. Here's a ginger and turmeric. You guys, I cannot wait to harvest this. I may just do an entire separate video on ginger and turmeric. I think they're one of the easiest things to grow in the grow bags. These really have been hands-off. Other than just keeping them watered, these are really hands-off for me. I don't even fertilize these, you guys. So I'm very happy with these. And then if you remember last week, I said that I had planted my last bag of bushing cucumbers. It looks like, yeah, every single one of them germinated, so I'm very happy. So these are from Seed Savers. We have a couple of, I think those are onions. Let me see. Yeah, I think those are onions from the tray of onions that I told you that I had left over. So far those are good. And then the leeks, they're just hanging in there with the zinnias. I'm in no rush for them still. But you guys, look at all the growth from the bushing cucumbers. since last week. They're doing really, really, really good. I don't think there's any fruit yet. Let me see. Let me check real quick because I don't think there is any. We're gonna check together because I actually haven't had a chance to check any of these. I don't see any yet, but everything is looking really healthy, which is very promising. And look at the zinnias, aren't those so pretty? I love all colors, but this pink, this fuchsia is just gorgeous. And then look at this one, so beautiful. I love zinnias. They really are just so beautiful. I think next year I'm probably gonna grow even more than I did this year. I might probably still have time to grow more, and I may. They're so pretty though. All right, so this bag does not have any cucumbers yet, but you know what I am going to do? You see those onions? These have been in here. These are the crystal white onions. There's that extra seed that I planted last time that didn't germinate, and it did, so I'm happy to see that. But these have been in here. Now, I have shared this before. The crystal white onions, let me get that focused, are really nice to grow in small spots only because they're meant to be small. Onions are a great companion plant, and because these grow really small, they're perfect to fit in bags or little spots in your grow bags or in your raised beds or anywhere that you want to have like a little onion or companion plant. I just had to quickly show, look at this cascade of Tulsi Holy Basil on the GREENSTALK. I did not plant any of this, you guys. This was all volunteer plants, all volunteer. It's absolutely beautiful. All right, let's walk through. I'm gonna try to be, like I say every week, I'm gonna try to condense it and show you the most important stuff because you guys, it is just so beautiful. There's so much growing back here. So an update on the potatoes, there's really not much of an update other than I need to harvest these. So probably, I know I said last week in a week or two, but I will get to harvesting those and I will definitely tell you how much was harvested. I'm never gonna not tell you what was harvested on something like, you know, potatoes and all sorts of other really big things because I think it's really important for you all to know how much food you could actually grow in your backyard. But I want to look at the peppers because, as you know, I'm already losing lighting and the gnats are already in my face. But I want to focus a little bit more on the peppers because they are exploding. Now, I want to mention something too because I think it's important whenever you are planting your garden. I put tags, and for the most part, I found these markers that do a really good job of keeping them, you know, marked. But for instance, like this one, you can see, let me grab it. You can't really see the label. And so, yeah, there you go. So you can't really see the label. And so what I want to do is show you my little planter. Now I do have a video on this. I can always link that below. But I will take this out here sometimes if something isn't marked because it wore off, and that way I know exactly what was planted here. Now there is always that possibility that a plant got mixed up and I thought it was what it wasn't. I mean, that has happened to me, and it is what it is. It's not that big of a deal. But I thought I'd point that out because sometimes it's nice to come out here with your planter, even though you're already done planting and you're just ready to harvest, just to double check what that particular vegetable is. So I do want to grab a couple of peppers here, and then I have some really beautiful cucumbers to harvest with you guys. The first one I want to harvest with you all is this golden sunshine. So it may be, let me see here. I have never grown these before, and I feel like this one could be ready, and if it's not, no big deal. I still have plenty of time to grow peppers, but I've never tried this, and oh, I'm looking forward to trying this. And then if you remember these back here, this was the Mulatto Isleno, if I'm saying that right, but they finally turned red, you guys, and we are going to grab these. And then of course my sweet banana peppers. These always come through for me, you guys. This is my second year growing them and I really do like these. You know what I was just thinking that I should do? So I have bootstrap farmer trays with these little inserts. I should come out there with the trays and I should label each pepper so I don't get them confused. I was just thinking that. I think that'd be a really good idea. All right, so these are pepperoncini. I may be saying those wrong. I've never grown these. So what I'm going to do is grab 2 kind of mediocre size ones and try them because I've never grown these before. Now, before we go over to that other pepper bed, because there are a few peppers that I want to harvest, I wanted to not only show you the beautiful flowers that do need to get watered, but you guys, here's one of the updates. There's not any more Japanese beetles. They're not on my grapevines, which are doing good. I did find one in that flower, but that was it. My Kentucky Wonders haven't had any, and even those strawberries down there. Now those 2 towers got attacked like crazy. It was bad. And I haven't seen any. So that's one of my most exciting updates, is the fact that I don't see Japanese beetles anymore. So I'm really hoping that their season is done. Now I just have to make sure I stay on top of the hornworms as well as any other lovely insects that we deal with in the summertime. All right, well, let me show you the peppers because they're doing really good. There's not a whole lot that I want to harvest from these yet. But you can see there's some shishitos right there that are doing really, really good. I've got some cayenne peppers that are actually growing. Where did it go? Here it is. Look at, isn't it sweet? It's so teeny. I can't wait to grow more of these. I am currently freezing some to put in the freeze dryer. There's the serranos. They're still growing very beautifully. Let's see, get that in focus. And then I'm trying to see, so there's more. Look at these. Mulatto Asleno is really surprising me. Oh, these cosmos are taken up. Look at that. There's a lot there, and I'm really excited to try these. They're very prolific, which means I will keep growing them. There's a Hungarian yellow, which I don't know, I'm gonna hold off on. Well, actually, you know what? Look at me, I can't make up my mind. I'm actually gonna harvest these 2. That's what I'm going to do. Whoop, as I drop it. So there's the 2 Hungarian yellows. Now these might be hard to see. These are actually the like lemon new mix jalapenos. There's actually a lot. I'm just waiting for these to turn yellow. They're some of my favorite. There's a lot of jalapenos here actually. Jalapenos do pretty good for me. And then we do have quite a bit of peppers on this side. I'm just waiting for a lot of these to turn color. Some of them are starting to turn color. You can see right there a little bit of that red hint there. And then there's more of the serranos down here. But overall, these beds, the 2 pepper beds are doing amazing. The one thing I've been a little bit disappointed with, but it's not a huge deal, is my palette of peppers. So one of the things that I recently did, because I realized that the lemon balm, which was right here, was really overpowering some of the peppers and even my other mullein as well as my ashwagandha plant. So what I did was I moved a lot of the smaller ones because the sun hits more here and instead of on the other side. So I moved some things around. Now I do see some yellowing, so I might need to address that soon. Now something ate that. That is definitely, hold on. Oh yeah. Something was eating my peppers. You can see, look at that bug bite right there. And then you can see that was bitten. Ooh. No, 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 no. You can see right there that was bitten right there. Yeah. So, you know, listen, it happens. It's not the end of the world for me, but I think with me moving these around, I'm going to keep a little bit more of a closer eye on these, and hopefully I can get a whole other batch of peppers over here as well. But I'll definitely keep you guys updated now that I switched them, and then hopefully I can address the yellowing here soon. All right, so here are all of the cucumbers, you guys. It has grown so much and I'm so super excited. We do have some beautiful cucumbers to harvest and I cannot wait to harvest these with you guys. So I'm gonna actually come over here, and then as far as the green beans are concerned, these are all growing really good. I don't have any to harvest. You can see there's a lot of flowers though, which means we will be harvesting a lot of green beans, hopefully very soon. But let's go ahead and harvest that cucumber. Now I did want to quickly show you, because underneath with all the leaves, it kind of hides a little bit. It's kind of hard to show with the camera, but you guys look at all the cucumbers that are growing right here. That to me is super exciting. And then look at on this one, there's all those over there. We're actually going to harvest this one real quick. But I am very, very happy. These have been coming in really, really nicely. Now I do notice that this side is growing more than the other side, and it could be that it gets more sunlight, but I also have a lot of F1s right here, which are producing the most because they are F1s. But I'm just glad that I'm getting cucumbers consistently here, and then the other ones hopefully will start coming in too. All right, I'm under the tunnel, so I know it's kind of hard to see, but we're going to harvest this little guy. This one's really nice. And then this one actually is kind of tiny, so we're just going to grab that one so that it tells the plant to, or that it helps the plant to give energy to other fruits. Now, there are ones like right in here on the other side. There's this one right here, and I think, like, I see a lot of buds. You can see there's one right here too. So I think within time, my whole idea of growing food is just to have a consistency of food coming in. I don't mind everything coming in all at once, like certain things, but cucumbers, it's really nice to have a little bit at a time. So I've been really fortunate to have that so far this summer. We're gonna grab that one too, because I didn't see this one. So very nice. I do want to keep giving you updates on the cucumber plant that is growing on the ground. I definitely want to keep an eye on this and just learn from it. But look at, there's already a cucumber right there, which is really, really cool to see. So I haven't thoroughly looked at everything. I did try to, loop one of the vines up the stick just to kind of give some of it support, but we'll see. I don't have too much hopes in harvesting. It'd be nice to, but this is more for just learning from the plant as it's growing on the ground. Now I want to just give updates because even though there's so many clusters of tomatoes, they're just not ready to harvest yet, and that's fine. I mean, there is just a massive amount. At some point, this one actually looks like it's starting to kind of blush a little bit. At some point, they're all going to turn red and we're going to harvest a whole bunch. So these tomatoes are all doing very, very well, and so is the basil. And these tomatoes are doing well. So other than just showing you how much they're growing, there isn't any to harvest just yet, but I'm very pleased with what I see so far. Now, the other update is the Kentucky Wonders are finally, you can kind of see, unless I got a ladder, it's kind of hard for me to show you, maybe you can see, but there's a lot of new growth, a lot of new leaves, and a lot of new vines, and there's no Japanese beetles, you guys. So I'm super happy to see this, and I have a feeling we're gonna end up having quite a bit of green beans from these. Here's another angle of some more tomatoes. They just all look so nice. I can't wait to harvest them. And then you might be able to see a little bit better over here, the Kentucky Wonder green beans, a lot of beautiful new growth and vining and green leaves, and that's what I want to see. And this side is doing very well too. So there's, again, a lot of clusters of tomatoes. And these are the San Marzanos, and there's actually a lot of little flower buds up there. You probably can't see them because just all that greenery mixed in with the flowers. It's really hard to tell, but lots of tomatoes in there, you guys. I cannot wait. Now this one right here is surprising me. I cannot believe, and I know you probably can't see how tall it is. It's like right up here, which is past the bamboo stick. I can't get over how tall these have gotten. Now this is my plum tomato bed, so this is a bunch of different varieties, and I think that one in particular, at least one of them is a striped Roma, and you can see, let me see if I can get a close up. It's so hard whether it's sunny out or darker out because it's all green. I don't know if you can see that cluster of tomatoes, but that cluster is growing. There's like a bunch of clusters like that. You can even see the ones like right up top here. I mean, they're just everywhere. So I'm really hoping that those grow very well, because if that's the case, then along with the San Marzanos and the Martina Romas, that will be one that I definitely grow. So this bed has definitely surprised me. Last year this bed did not do good, and this bed did not do good. I was very, very disappointed, but it was a learning curve. So there's not really a whole lot here yet. Again, this one, as I shared before, this and this all were planted much later, which is fine. I have no problem with that. But these other two beds, and I think these will be harvesting very soon. Now, just to give you an update on some of the tomatoes back here. So these pallets are doing pretty good. There's been a lot of yellowing, and I think that's just because of the lack of like rainwater and just watering. I mean, I'm watering at least once a week, but we do have some tomatoes growing. You can see some in the background here too. I'll walk through here at the very end, but the pallets of tomatoes are doing pretty good. I do see some fruits, just waiting for them to turn. What I am excited about, you guys, is the watermelon, and then I want to show you the cantaloupe over there, but I know I kind of need to hurry because it's getting darker. It was just today, when I tell you it was massively hot, and this was the day that I could film, it was just too hot. But you guys, do you remember that watermelon? So the one that was below it, I tossed it because it was looking bad, and I'd rather the plant give energy to this one. So I am going to probably figure out a way to support that, but I am thrilled to see this watermelon getting this big. And I am also seeing, so I have to be careful where I step because I have a vine on the ground too. I'm also seeing this watermelon grow right here, and then there's this one growing right here, right there, and then there's just a bunch, like a lot of little babies, and I'm just hoping that they do very well. So just to kind of give you some background information, I've had a hard time growing watermelons, and so what I did was I tried 5 different varieties this year. And what I also did in each bag is I've yet to make comfrey fertilizer. Again, I tried last year and it didn't work, so I haven't done it yet because it's just been busy this summer. But what I did was I took off a leaf or a couple leaves, broke them up in pieces, and I stuck them in the soil with the watermelons. Now, whether or not that helped, I don't know, but I wanted to give it the best chance possible with nutrients and as much as these watermelons needed to grow some watermelons, because I've just not had, you know, I've not had any success with growing them. So I'm really happy to see all this. I'm definitely going to be showing, you can see this is one of the vines that are going out. I'm just kind of letting it do its thing. I'm not one, and I'm doing this with the tomatoes and the cucumbers. I'm trying not to prune too much, and I'm trying to let the plant be a plant. That's what I'm trying to do, because I tend to over prune, and I'm hoping that just letting it be, I mean, if there's some dead leaves, like over here, there was some major yellowing, like that right there, I'll probably take that off, of course, you know, but I'm trying not to over prune or cut too much of the plant off and making it 1 liter, and just kind of seeing what the plant does without having to intervene too much, if that makes sense. So far I've really liked that, plus it's not that much work, so that makes it even better, but we'll see how everything goes. Every year I'm learning new things, I'm experimenting and always trying, and I'm always going to share with you all. Now to give you an update on the cherry tomato trellis. So far I'm very happy I'm still very happy with what we did here. I actually do have, let's see, I have some, oh look at, because it's evening time, that red just pops. Look at how beautiful that red is. That's gorgeous. Okay, so we're going to harvest these. I think this is the, let me double check which one this is, hold on. These are the pole cherries. So very happy to see these. These are doing really good so far. So this is actually the second harvest of these pole cherries. Now I do see a lot of tomatoes, so they definitely still do need some more time. My bumblebees are not quite ready yet, but you can see there's a whole cluster. I'm seeing a lot of clusters on here. They're just not turning red yet, but I have a feeling that once they all do, I'm gonna be harvesting a lot of tomatoes. I have a feeling, so hopefully very soon. Now when it comes to these cantaloupes, so I have cantaloupes in the big bags, and then I have green beans in the smaller bags. I am very happy to share with you that we do have some cantaloupe growing. There's a lot of little buds like this throughout this bag and the other bag. So I'm keeping a very close eye on these cantaloupes, and I'm hoping that we can harvest some in the weeks to come. And then, like I said, the tomato plants down here are doing good. Let me go over here in this aisle so you can kind of see everything. So I try to make rows everywhere throughout the garden so that I can walk, or I have my wagon and this is one of the rows. So far these tomato plants are doing very well. I'm very pleased to see that these are doing well. And so are these, and all of these are doing really good. I did want to show you the Martha F1 tomatoes because these are really good tomatoes, you guys. You can see all the different green tomatoes. So it's probably, I'm thinking next week these got to start turning blush soon so that we can harvest. These are really good slicing tomatoes, and there's some more here. So I'm very happy to see those. By the way, I just want to tell you, I haven't given up on these Napa cabbages. I do check these. A couple of days ago, a bunch of the snails were having a little snail party and I had to break it up. I mean, they were everywhere. I had to break it up. I know they were not happy about it, but you know what? I'm really hoping, and I know it's summer, it's really not a time for cabbage, but they haven't flowered, so I'm going to try my hardest to see if I could get one. All right, friends, so I'm actually going to insert this extra video, so the lighting may be different. Yesterday, it was not only getting dark quickly, but I did come out a little bit later because it has just been incredibly hot. But it's over here, by the time that I went to show you the Tiny Tims, that, okay, hold on. I'm getting sidetracked. Oh, and he flew away. Let's see if he'll stop. Oh, look at that sweet little butterfly. How precious, you guys. Sorry, I was not planning to put this in here, but anytime you see this, you have to stop. Oh my goodness, look at how beautiful. All right, friends, well, maybe there was a reason why I had to come back out here a second day just so we could catch that beautiful butterfly, because that was really precious. I'm really happy that I was able to record that. But the last I left off, I know I was talking about the pallets back there and not really knowing what I was going to do with those, and then talking about how beautiful the sweet potatoes are, which they are growing so lovely out of these bags. You can barely even see the bags. But I wanted to briefly talk about the Tiny Tim dwarf tomatoes because I've actually had 2 hornworms that were on them already. You can see some of the leaves here were eaten and bitten, and there were some poops down here. So I knew I had to keep an eye on these when I saw the first one. Now what I do notice with the Tiny Tims, and this happened also in the GREENSTALK last year, now this one looks a little bit more healthier than the other ones, but you can see there's a lot of yellowing and browning of the leaves. I also, like I said, had that happen in the GREENSTALK, but you guys can see, look at all the clusters of tomatoes. So I mean, they're still growing, but I'm just having to keep a very, very close eye on the Tiny Tim tomatoes. But I did want to show them to you because this new structure that my husband built is doing very, very well. I'm happy with even the tomatoes on these determinants. You can see there's tomatoes here and over here. So they're doing really well, and I wanted to give you updates on this trellis because I'm really enjoying the height, the fact that I can get all the buckets off the ground and they're all one level with the trellis in between. So I wanted to give you an update on these. And of course, since I'm re-recording, I just wanted to show you the cucumbers that are already growing in these little grow bags against the trellis. So I had this little bit of extra room, and these bags, let me make sure I know that these are 2 gallons because I'm pretty, yeah. So these grow bags are actually 2 gallon. The size is 2 gallons, and each one has 1 cucumber plant. And you guys, so far they're doing really good. And if these grow cucumbers for me, now of course you do have to keep grow bags watered. You have to keep a very close eye on them because they do dry out quicker than, let's say, a bag or a raised bed or in the ground. But for the most part, I've been keeping a close eye on it and watering it when I need to, and they're doing really, really well. So just to reiterate, I am trying to grow cucumbers on one half, and then the other half, 4 of the buckets have loofah, and that last black one has that gourd down there, which, you know, I'm hoping to get a gourd. And since we actually have a little bit of better lighting here, I think, yeah, let me see if I can zoom. Maybe you can see it. It's right there. So there's another gourd. It's looking healthy. Like I was just saying a little bit earlier, I think the 2 in the 1 bag was just too much, so we'll see what happens. But I'm happy to see that there's another one growing already. I know I did not get a chance to add this in here, but I wanted to show you because I recently just put this together. So as you know, these 2 bags had those beautiful kales. Caterpillars attacked them. I am trying to see if I can still get a little bit out of these that are already still planted. We'll see, but I did replant, and you can see that they already sprouted right there. But I did replant in 3 sections of fresh kale because I really do love the kale at the end of the bed in these bags. But what I did over here, I still left 1 kale plant in this bag, but I made a little like 4-way teepee, and I have nothing but green beans and then some leftover onion starts that I had, and then I used the little ones for some extra green beans on the side while the lemon balm is just doing beautifully on the outside. But I wanted to quickly show this to you because I love growing green beans on the bamboo sticks. I think they do a really good job at supporting them without having to, you know, put too much supports in there. I just think it's perfect. So I wanted to quickly show this to you, and hopefully we'll be harvesting green beans in the next couple weeks because I'm seeing a lot of flowers, not just here, but as well as the beds here and here. Last but not least, I don't want to forget to add what I said in the very beginning of the video with regards to an idea that I had. When I went inside last night after filming, I realized, oh my goodness, I completely forgot to share with them an idea that I had. But it's just, the thing is, you guys, it's just been very hot, so it leaves only the evenings to do filming. And because, as you can see, I'm sorry, my dog's barking in the background. You can see there's just so much to share, and I don't want to miss, but I want to try to keep it kind of to a Reader's Digest, but it's really hard. So when I went inside, I'm like, no, I got to go back outside and just add this to the video. But here's my idea. We'll see if it works. It may work, it may not. Okay. So You see all this right here, and you may not know it, but maybe you can a little bit because you can see a little bit more mud than grass. Like let's say right here's a little bit more covered, while this is not. Our property, the way that it is, it slopes down. Oops, sorry. It slopes down this way, and this part is pretty much the flattest, and even that is not completely flat. And so here's the idea that I had, because everything that we have on the ground, it's either propped up with rocks, we have the pallet, sorry, couldn't think there for a second, or my husband, when he put these beds in, what he does is he levels these beds. So he will dig maybe one side more than the other to make sure that they're as leveled as possible. And even the trellis back there, as you saw, some of the legs as they're going down, they get shorter to longer. So with that being said, a lot of the water collects here, which is partially why I put these 4 bags here to get, not only kind of stop the water from trickling, but for the bottom of the bags to catch that water. So if you see all this water here, because I'm actually watering the beds, this bed is getting watered, you can see the hose, and the water just trickles down, and this spot right here, going all the way down, gets full of water. Now, we've talked about drains, putting drains in and rock and stuff like that, but we just haven't gotten around to it. And then I was thinking this, and not only do I love the idea that these 4 bags are here right now, even though it's kind of a tight space here, it is very tight, I will say that. So I may rethink that down the road. But for the most part, these plants are doing really good. I love that they're catching the excess water, so that water's not getting wasted either. But I think what I'm going to do is add more bags, but going in a line, sorry, my camera was getting fuzzy, going in a line down that way. I do have a lot of bags on my driveway, and there's a few that I can manage to bring up here to give my green stalks a little bit more room down there. So I think that's what I'm going to try to do. Now, everything I do is always an experiment. If it works, great. If it doesn't, I scratch it, I move it, and I move on. This right here is still an experiment for me. If I end up not liking that by the end of the season, this will be gone, and then we will figure something else out. But I figured if this is getting all the water, why not line up the bags, and the bags can catch the excess water. It was a thought, it was an idea, and that's what we're going to try. So next week, hopefully you will see a bunch of bags lined up here, and that's my hope, is that we could not only save the water that we're losing here, but then the bags are getting watered also, because I will say, even though my daughter helps me, my oldest helps me with watering a lot of the bags in the buckets while the grids take care of all the beds, it's still a lot of work. It gets very hot, which means all these bags dry out very quickly. And to sit here and constantly water, you know, every day, which we will, and we actually are going to be watering little sections each day. If I could eliminate extra work by just eliminating 2 problems, by putting bags here and then not allowing excess water to keep flowing, I'm at least gonna try, and we'll just see how it goes. It may work, like I said, it may not, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. At least I know that I tried, and then we can go to plan B, C, D, E, F, G, or whatever we have to do in order to make sure that it is functional back here. But I just wanted to add that. So now we're gonna go back to the ending, which is completely different lighting and in the evening time. All right, friends, well, it definitely got dark on me, but I do not want to end the video without at least showing you what we harvested today. So let's go ahead and see what we got. All right, so we got ourselves some very beautiful cucumbers. I am very, very happy with the harvest of cucumbers that I've been able to get every week. This right here is one of our favorites, so I'm very happy about that. And then we got ourselves some peppers, some onions, a couple of cherry tomatoes, and a lot of different peppers. Very, very, very happy about this. And I think in the weeks to come, we'll be harvesting even more peppers, and then I'm just waiting for those tomatoes to turn green, and we will be harvesting those. And I also got some Tulsi Holy Basil, because there's so much growing all over the place. and I do need to make some more tea tomorrow for the family. So overall, always excited with anything I harvest from the garden. Well, friends, thanks so much for stopping by, and I always look forward to walking through the garden with you all. And I want you to always remember, friends, I want you to be encouraged, stay encouraged, and always stay inspired. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye.